Oh, check out this. Now, if you're wondering what this is a Baffle diffusion system. It's designed to help stop the blizzard of nails and work with your favorite microphone. Let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. This is Shane. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. So a massive thank you to Jason from Amp Silo for sending this out for the review. This actually caught my eye and I figured I'm pretty keen to check this out, because if you've ever been to a gig before where you're copping the blizzard of nails, or whether you're guilty of the blizzard of nails when you're performing, that's what this is. It's an amp baffle system with a few little tricks up its sleeve. So we're gonna unbox this now and we'll see what we get in the box and then we'll set it up. All right, in the box we get some instructions and tips on how to use this, and we get the amp silo. Now this is super lightweight. This would weigh nothing in the bag. It feels far less than 1 kilogram. I don't have the exact specs, but if I can find them, I'll leave them on screen somewhere. So the idea of this, if you've ever been to a gig before where the artists have their amplifiers either behind a sheet of perspex, or what Stevie Ray Vaughan used to do, he used to cover the center of a cone with some tape. Having some sort of diffuser or baffle across the front of the amplifier drastically cuts down on how much top end the audience will hear. That's the whole idea of this, except as you can see, well, let's take this out of here. One of the big reasons why I was keen to check this out is because there's actual microphone holes as well. So you can not only place this in front of the cone to stop the blizzard of nails, but you can also mic up your amplifier. So a lot of people actually still like to mic the center of the cone. A lot of people don't, they'll mic the edge, but if you choose to place this in the area of your amplifier that stops that blizzard of nails and you still want to put a microphone through it, you can absolutely do that. So I'll unravel this now and show you just how big it is. There we go. Awesome stuff. And the bottom side of it has some Velcro, and it also has like a rubber matting as well, which is pretty cool. So here's a quick example of how this works. So if we take a look at the top diagram, there's a guy playing guitar, and those what we call the blizzard of nails frequencies are killing the guy in the audience. The silo is designed to basically attenuate those high-end frequencies, which is really cool. And you can, as you can see over here, position it even on a mic stand, which I think is a really great design as well. So this is something a little bit different, and I was pretty keen to check it out just based on the fact it looked like they put quite a bit of thought into it, and I really like stuff that's a little bit different. Obviously there's rooms and places where you won't need something like this. There's a place I play at where you don't need any extra attenuation because there's a bar in front of the amps basically. So you don't necessarily need something like this, but there's definitely times where if the stage is up at ear height, something like this will save the people eating their dinner in the front row, which we've done gigs like that. So yeah, I'm really keen to see how this works. Another advantage to this particular system is you'll be able to turn your amp up louder, being that you've got something blocking the sound basically. It's going to attenuate your volume, so you should be able to get your amplifier up at a slightly louder volume. I might actually break out the sound meter as well just to see exactly what this is doing. As you can see looking at the silo here, they've put holes at different heights. This is to accommodate, say, if the amplifier has a set of caster wheels on it and it's up that little bit higher. Now, we can also apply this to a microphone and hang it off a mic stand as well. So there's lots of stuff you can do with this. I'm really keen to give this a shot. A massive thank you again to Amp Silo for sending this out for the review. Let's get into it. Firstly, I want to test the attenuation. So the way I've got this set up, I've got my Marshall DSL-40CR cranked on 20 watt mode. And what you're about to hear is a room microphone back about 1.5 meters. So it's a good 2 steps away from the amplifier. I've also got the sound pressure level meter on the floor, and it's peaking at about 110 dB. So let's give this a shot. This is bridge pickup. I've gone for a somewhat brighter sound than I would personally use because the idea of this unit is to help stop the ice pick as well. So here we go. All right, so that's peaking at 110 decibels on my little meter. Now let's hook up the silo. Now the first thing I want to do with this is literally just wrap it around and put it in the center of the amplifier speaker. So I'm looking for where the speaker is. It's dead center in this amp, and I've got it back just a hair, about a fist's depth away from the actual cone. We'll start there and we'll see how it goes, and that's the other view there, so you can see exactly where it's placed. Nothing else has changed. There's nothing like a loud valve amp. I love it. Anyway, so it's still coming through at about 108 decibels, so it hasn't reduced the volume that much. Hopefully you can hear a difference on that microphone. What I'm going to do now though is just move it forward a little bit more. So it's basically right in front of the amp now. Here we go. Yeah. All right, so that has dropped the volume a little bit on the sound pressure level meter, but not that much, so it's still really, really loud. Odds are, though, you're going to hear those top-end frequencies attenuated more so than the overall volume of it dropping. So it's still coming in about 4 decibels or so lower than it was before. Actually, we might angle it. Let's angle it back like this and see how that works. So as you can see now, I've got it set back on a little bit of an angle, so we'll see if it attenuates a little bit more in terms of the top end. Here we go. So that was averaging around 108 dB, so that's still really loud, but it clearly sounds different to my ear sitting here, whereas before I couldn't really hear that much of a difference beside the amplifier. When you're in front of it, odds are that microphone's going to pick up way more of the difference. So here's a diagram of it again with it in front of an amplifier on a stand like this, but what I'm going to do right now is just test it with an SM57 with it on the floor. I had a quick listen back and there was a huge difference to the top end. Alright, so you might notice there's small holes and large holes on here. So the small holes are for your amplifier cable. So you're supposed to thread the cable through. I'm pretty sure it's this way actually. Let's do it this way. And then you feed the microphone sort of backwards through the large hole. So I've got my 57 in the back pocket here. Let's try this. Feed it through this way. Oh yeah, alright. Feed the cable through on the back. It's a little bit hard to show you and do this while filming, but it goes like that. And then, pretty sure we just sort of move it around until we get what we need out of it. Now, depending on the, oh yeah. How cool is this? All right, so what you're gonna hear now is this being recorded. I'll also mic up the room as well so you can hear the difference with and without it, or I'll switch between microphones. I could hear a huge difference just listening back to the prior part than this, so let's do it. One of the great things about the Silo, as you can see, it's its own mic stand as well, so you don't need a microphone stand. You just plonk it in front of the amplifier like this with the hole that best suits your amplifier height, and then you're good to go. What you're about to hear now is a mix between the SM57 that's in the Silo and the room microphone, which is the Rode M3. I'll switch between them in editing and I'll leave a note on screen as to which one is which. So the 57 will pick up a hell of a lot more, or a heck of a lot more top end, because it's right in front of the Silo. So here we go, it's bridge pickup. Yeah, all right. All right, so I'm gonna give you my final thoughts about the Silo. first thing I love about it is the hole placement. While this might look like a very simple item, and I guess it is in many ways, they've actually put thought into it. It's its own microphone stand. The holes for the microphones are just perfect for my amplifier combos, and the fact you can also stick it onto a mic stand gives you even more options just for using this if you don't just want to have it on the floor. Having two different levels for the microphone is perfect if your amplifier is on casters. So they're obviously gigging musicians, or they've thought about the gigging musician with this. Now, this is clearly for someone who plays live more so than in the studio. It can absolutely work in the studio to save your own ears, or the rest of the engineer's ears. But I really feel like something like this in the right room would be an absolute lifesaver. I used to do gigs where the stage was right next to where people were eating and the amps were plonked right on the floor. And it was always a bit of a danger zone doing that. So something like this is far better. Now, a while back, I had a chance to test out a $500 piece of Perspex. And I gotta tell you, I would much prefer this. This is lighter, it's its own microphone stand. It does a lot of good things that that $500 piece of plastic didn't do. So I'm gonna say I really like this for what it does. And if you're a gigging musician where you need a little bit of diffusion on that top end frequency, this would be an absolutely good choice. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. Sometimes the simple things are the good things. Thanks again, catch you soon. See ya.